On this day in history, July 4th, 1744, the Treaty of Lancaster, in which the Iroquois cede lands between the Allegheny Mountains and the Ohio River to the British colonies, was signed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, going over the history of the city. Lancaster, a city of southeastern Pennsylvania, USA, on the Conestoga River, 65 miles west of Philadelphia, the county seat of Lancaster County. It is on the Lincoln Highway and several other federal and state roads, and is served by the Pennsylvania and Reading Railways, and by trolley and bus lines radiating in every direction. The population was 59,949 in 1930 and 61,345 in 1940. The city has an area of 3.9 square miles and a general elevation of 375 feet, and is set in a beautiful country. Lancaster County is one of the most highly cultivated districts in the United States and ranks first among all the counties in the value of its farm products per acre. In 1939, the aggregate value of the agricultural products was $13,174,740, and they included 33,976,800 pounds of tobacco, 5,295,540 bushels of corn, 2,021,400 bushels of wheat, 30,722,320 gallons of milk, and 14,956,320 dozens of eggs. The stockyards, one of the largest cattle markets east of Chicago, handled in 1939 animals representing a value of $23,452,156. Chief among the city's manufactures are linoleum, cork, watches, cigars, coffee, candy, cotton, and silk goods, and metal products. The aggregate factory output in 1937 was $42,398,917. Hydroelectric power is supplied by an immense plant on the Susquehanna River at Holtwood, 25 miles south. There are 142 wholesale houses and over 1,300 retail establishments in the city, which have transactions amounting annually to about $25 million and $36 million, respectively. Bank debits in 1940 totaled $310,309,394. The assessed valuation of property in 1941 was $90,401,150. Lancaster is the seat of the Theological Seminary of the Reformed Church, opened in Carlisle in 1825 and moved here in 1871, after some years in York and in Mercersburg. Of Franklin and Marshall College, Reformed Church, formed in 1852 by the Union of Franklin College, founded at Lancaster in 1787, and Marshall College, established at Mercersburg in 1836, and of the Thaddeus Stevens Trade School, established by bequest of Thaddeus Stevens, who lived here after 1842, and now a state institution. At Millersville, 4 miles southwest, is a state normal school. At Lelita, 8 miles north, is Linden Hall Seminary, established by the early Moravian settlers, one of the oldest schools for girls in the country. There are many buildings and spots with historic associations in and near the city, including Wheatland, the home of President Buchanan, Trinity Lutheran Church, built in 1736 and rebuilt in 1785, the Landis Valley Museum, with an interesting collection of 200,000 rare Pennsylvania Dutch articles, the Christian Hare House, built in 1719, the oldest house in the county, the tombs of Buchanan, Stevens, Thomas Mifflin, first governor of Pennsylvania, General John F. Reynolds, who fell at Gettysburg, and George Ross, signer of the Declaration of Independence. Ephrata Cloisters, at Ephrata, 14 miles northeast, built by the Seventh-day Adventists in the 18th century and used as a hospital during the Revolution, the quaint town of Mannheim, 10 miles north, where Baron Siegel made his famous iron and glass, and the Cornwall mines, 15 miles further on, from which he got ore for the cannon for Washington's army, and, 22 miles south, the birthplace of Robert Fulton, inventor of the steamboat. Lancaster County was settled early in the 18th century by English Quakers and Episcopalians, Scottish and Irish Presbyterians, Welsh Dissenters, German Lutherans, Brethren, Dunkards, Mennonites, and Amish. Some of the sects still keep their distinctive customs and costumes, and on market days add a picturesque note to the city streets. Lancaster was settled about 1717, laid out in 1730, incorporated as a borough in 1742, and chartered as a city in 1818. During the colonial period, it was the largest inland city on the continent. An important treaty with the Iroquois Indians was negotiated here in June 1744, and here in 1780 some of General Burgoyne's troops were confined after the surrender at Saratoga. Lancaster was the national capital for one day, when the Continental Congress, driven from Philadelphia, sat here on September 27, 1777, and it was one of the places seriously considered when the choice of a permanent seat for the federal government was made. From 1799 to 1812, it was the capital of Pennsylvania.